There it is.
Thank you.
Other way.
Yeah, thank you. It's long enough to learn all this stuff. No, but I had the pleasure to coming up here about 25, but I saw it in the day. Absolutely wonderful. We happened to come in just at dusk, and just as the sun was setting, and it was a sunset.
Yes.
Because it was coming through the clouds. It looked like calm, and the bright lights coming in from the stained glass. Our nightly impression couldn't be better. Coming in. You may have gotten, but I think that 50 years ago, and we were celebrating our 50th anniversary from our very first record, and I have been there from the very beginning. If you come real close, you can tell by the wrinkles of the original guys. And Donovan joined the Lettermen in September. Had been with us consistently for 26 years. Mark Preston joined the Lettermen the very same day, about 5 years. Mark went out on his own for a little while. Solo nightclub performer in some of the clubs around the world. In the cruise industry, he became...
Yeah, that's a good word.
attractions in the cruise industry for many, many years. And I got together. We approached Mark about 5 years ago, so that's where we are. This is the group of Lettermen, the longest continued had since I've been there from the very beginning. This is the best combination we've ever had as far as talent, entertainment, and we get along famously.
Want to sing it again?
Yes.
We're going to sing it tomorrow night. We, in fact, beside Hil Sayo, we have. What?
You see?
Oh, did you want?
Would you like to hear a little bit?
Hil sayo ang mabuhay. Hil sayo hanggang dapat mo wala nang ibang puso ko'y ikaw at ikaw rin.
That's a sample. There was we sang in for motion pictures, in long shows. The Mitchell Boys Choir is a very famous choir, 1932 in Hollywood. They were in Going My Way, with Bing, the Bishop's Wife with David Niven and Loretta Young, and now the Boys Choir on Moonlight Bay with Doris Day and Greg McCoy, and I did White Christmas with Bing Crosby in the Mitchell Boys Choir. The Mitchell Boys Choir has been around since 1930 till 2000. 3 motion pictures, television shows did the Boys Choir do. We had 28 languages back in the 50s. A church in Los Angeles that had a parish priest, and we sang for him, and one of his favorites was Leo. And in the Boys Choir, I learned that in 1950, when I was about 10 years old, and in San Francisco at the Fairmont Hotel, every year, 28 straight years after our first hit record, every year, the biggest dignitaries in the world used to come to San Francisco, Fairmont Hotel, and see the nightclub show. And this one day, the mayor called my son in the afternoon. He said, "Tony, our son is going to be late because we have some." This is in 1969 or 70. He said, "We have some dignitaries from the Philippines are going to come, Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos of the United States, and they are big fans of yours. They're coming to the show." And ordinarily, the second show would be at 30. However, he said, "I know that Filipinos have time." So probably instead of 11:30, the show's going to be 12:30. So I got the idea. Realized that 40 years earlier I learned down here in Sayo when I was in the choir, and so my conductor was. So we spent 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon trying to remember this beautiful song that we sang when we were teenagers, the boys' choir. And so there I was on stage at the end of our second show, and Imelda and Ferdinand were in this room, which held about 750 people. And the Filipino delegation was on the side, a little dais, a special table. In those days, Imelda kind of emulated Tammy Faye Baker in her makeup. She was dressed to the nines, beautiful eyelashes, and beautiful makeup, and she was a beautiful sight. And in those days, we had a cord on our microphone. They didn't have these microphones then. In our show, I was used to going out in the audience. At the end of our show, there they were, this wonderful people. I hoped that I could remember this song. I wanted to dedicate a special song that I learned when I was here. I had no idea that she even knew the song. And the introduction went da 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 da. All the time, right close to her, getting ready to sing, and she was crying already. It just so happened, coincidentally, it was her favorite song. And I started singing, and I sang, the more tearful she got, the more she started crying. And the more she started crying, the more her makeup started melting. And I know she'd have fun when she reads this tomorrow, when we write about this. But she was a gracious, wonderful lady. The Lettermen knew her favorite song. And we'd already had many hits of the early Letterman records. So she came back to the suite afterwards. She and Ferdinand. You got to show for me. You got to come to the Philippines. And within a year, for them, and we knew we were going to stop there. And she met rearranged the manager without telling the Letterman that 5 days to go to Marabungkay and do some scuba diving. You can't go anywhere because she took our entourage and she had arranged a safe place. We couldn't travel anywhere else. And she said, by the way, since you're here in Manila, I've arranged it so the Letterman shows at the Folk Arts Theater. And I'm going to give a gift to the people of the Philippines. They can see the Letterman. We filled out the long version of a simple
A very simple thing. We have, the Lettermen have a tremendous for the people that come to see our shows. And a long time ago that out of that respect, you should be dressed and do your absolute best and look your best, walk on stage as we represent the Lettermen, we represent. So if the best dressed person is in a tuxedo and the ladies are in gowns, dressed one step higher than that out of respect for them, dressed down to the audience. We will always come out looking as we can out of respect for the people that have taken the time to come and see us.
Good answer.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'd like to add, just ask a question. Which
That's it. Yeah. It'll be me this time.
Okay, here's another one. Actually, this is. I hope
I hate
yeah,
my
yeah.
wife. So.
Okay. And your ranch in Tennessee.
Yes, when I'm wearing a cowboy hat 24 hours a day. We have a ranch outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I have and a 5-year-old son. And when I first met her, I'm one of the first to the Philippines to see the beauty of this country. She, like me, enjoys the weather here. and the food especially. We love. Thank you for
Okay,
the question.
last question would be for Mark. The so-called voice.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
But what's the common denominator? Here, a good cigar, and watching football.
You've done your homework, my good man. I really enjoy a good cold beer, cigar, and the football will clarify that in America is South Bend, Indiana. University of Notre Dame is very famous in the States, and their football program is. And I grew up as a little boy, football games on Saturday, at Mustard Boy, where you go to the ballpark and there are vendors and sodas and such, and I was paid to keep the hot dog stand clean, and the wrappers and all that stuff. So growing up at the University of Notre Dame, I'm a huge Notre Dame. One rule that in all my lifetime, a couple of times, and the one rule when I'm married to my bride is if I'm a huge sports fan, but if I won't sports all day long, I won't do that unless planned. Then I'll sit there with the kerchunker and watch TV. All I have is do not ask me to the house when Notre Dame football is on. That's the one thing. If it's Notre Dame football, I'll sit there. I'm going to watch the game until it's over. Don't ask me to cut the grass, wash the dishes. It's where that comes from. And I sit on the back porch and outside. Never allowed to smoke inside. And a cold. That's where that comes from.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for.
The next question will
You are being extremely gracious, especially concerning me, because I sing Tagalog with a Texas accent. But it's a beautiful language, and again, along the lines of what Mark was saying earlier about dressing as well as we can because of respect for our audience. We have a great deal of respect and admiration for the Filipino people, and we thought it would be a sign of our appreciation, of your affection and our respect for your culture, if you would at least make an attempt to sing in your language. And I know that we say things, I know particularly I mispronounce things every once in a while, and I know that just one little accent or different syllable here and there can change an entire sentence from, I think you're the most beautiful woman in the world, to I would like to wear a rock for a hat. Something that you say in rock. But we even if we make mistakes, though, please, there's no mistake about the fact that we love your people, we love your country, and we thank you for making us feel so welcome.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Thank you. Our next question from Mr.
It's on.
It is on. David Wilson. He passed away in 2004, is that correct? 2002, I'm sorry. He was in the Navy, yes. He was our drummer.
Sir, what's the reason behind why did you singing?
Turn the mic a little up so you talk into it.
Sorry, was there any reason singing since you were a Navy personnel before?
Singing from being in the Navy. How did you get started in singing?
Me personally, I got started in singing in choirs when I was 14 years old. And I've been singing ever since and working in groups and cascades.
Racer, you look like
You look like Gene Hackman.
I look like Gene. Here.
That's a
No, actually, I started musician also, and there was a lot of singing and grape squeezing and so on. And that's basically where I met my dad, and I took formal music lessons. And By the time I was 4 years old, I discovered rock and roll and girls. Great ever since.
Question. Sir, can you give us a sample for one hit single, Rhythm of the Rain?
A sample of Rhythm of the Rain.
Listen to the rhythm of the rain, telling me just what a fool. Sing along if you like. I wish that it would cry in vain and let me down again. There you go. Gotta hear the rest of it.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
I was just wondering if singing.
There is no kind of music, yes, including rap, that I like all kinds of music, and there's a time and place. But I do like country music, and living outside of it would be hard to avoid.
Baguio City, this part of the country loves country music. I was just wondering if you're having one tomorrow.
Yes, I will do one song. The three of us like to go at least one time apiece during the show. Audience doing a country song. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much.
I have we have a brand new CD out, Directions. It's our 70s. In our show, we're going to feature a song, a country group called Restless Heart. I'd like to know that you like country music here. And so we picked that song of all the others to do tomorrow, and it's called, and it's a Letterman's version. Les Brown and his band of renown. I'd like to answer when she asked you about today. You sleep in it?
And my boots.
Many years ago, when the group was first forward, they were known as the Notes. Okay? And after a recording session, they were sitting around the producer's house and trying to come up with a name. They said, Thunder doesn't do it, okay? And they were thinking, and somebody happened to see, I swear this is the truth, a box of Cascade dishwashing soap. Really, on top of the dishwasher. And somebody got the bright idea that that would be a good name for the group. And that's how we got the name, Cascades, from Cascades dishwashing soap.
What kind of soapbox did you see?
Tony, I have a little different story than that.
What's that?
I thought you worked in a hospital, and when the people got their broken legs that the cast was off, you helped the doctor take the cast. You're a cast aide.
Well, that was an option, but
Tell them about the letter.
The Letterman. Back in the 50s, let's ask the question, how many people in this room have a son or daughter, a teenager, that wanted to start a group, a band? If you know that, one of the hardest things to do is to find a name for the band. So in the early 50s in the United States, it became in vogue to, okay, what should we call ourselves? Well, there's a group called the Robins. Okay, let's call ourselves the Larks. No, let's call ourselves the Sparrows. Let's call ourselves the Penguins. So birds were the first kind of name that people would go to. In the middle 50s, the kids were starting to, what should we call ourselves? Well, there's a group called the Cadillacs. Oh, let's call ourselves the Fleetwoods. No, let's call ourselves the Impalas. So in the middle 50s, car names were the vogue to look around and call them, what should we call ourselves? Well, in the late 50s, my favorite name, I was outvoted, because in the late 50s, school names became what people called themselves. There was the four freshmen, the four preps, Danny and the juniors, the sophomores, the grads, and no one had used the name the Lettermen. And so we thought, in the United States, when you excel in sport, you get a school letter of the school, a G or H or whatever the school name is. So we thought, wouldn't it be a novel idea to use the letter with a big letter L for the Letterman, and it's one of those other names people might not remember, but with the letter sweaters, we thought it would be an added aid to have people remember the Letterman. even though we didn't go to school, we didn't letter together. We put the group together in Hollywood, but we all had lettered in our various high school sports. I got outvoted because my name that I wanted to name this group at that time was the Three Ashtrays. The reason we're still very, 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 very hard to make business is because, are you familiar with Hertz Rent-A-Car? Hertz Rent-A-Cars is the #1 rent-a-car, and the next one is Avis. Avis too. Well, the Letterman, every time #1 record in the country, we've had #1s in the Philippines, 2 big hits here, but in the United States, we've yet to have a record. We had 2s and 4s and 6s, and there's always a group in front of us, like the Four Seasons, the Beach Boys. We're always used to being #2. We're going to keep trying. It gives us incentive. All our Grammy nominations, we were second in our first Grammy nomination, and then Peter Paul came in, and they got the #1 position as best new group. So we really don't mind. Once you get to the top, there's no place else to go but down. We haven't been to the top yet. So we're going to keep trying. It keeps us going. And this combination is very capable of big hit records. And we record at least 1 album a year. So we're always in there trying, looking for new ideas, ways, and not just to have a hit, though, to make good music that's relevant to people out there that want to hear good music.
And for 50 years is really not bad for in the industry, right?
Thank you very much.
It seems like yesterday when we started.
Yeah, from Jennifer Rivera of the University.
Hi, Jennifer. It's a tough business, and for every no's, there will be one. So you better be ready, because the rejection's going to come fast. But you keep the passion. That's Tony's passion, and keep fighting and keep dreaming and striving. Get there.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to...
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the answer
Sir,
is
I have a... How do you keep your relationship strong?
You mean between the three of us? Oh, well, I mean, as far as we each other's company, we really do. The three of us have known for over 30 years, and it's all that time. And we do enjoy company both on and off stage, but we respect each other's privacies. And so, we're not on the phone with each other 24, bugging each other when we're at home. And the same thing our separate time. Like when the interview this evening, I'll go have a beer, probably go have a snack and hit the sack, and Tony will have a go and meet with people and talk, and that we try to keep that, and then when we're together, it's always fresh.